A very happy Friday to you. The weekend is almost here, and I have to say, sometimes, much like yesterday, when Karen got home, I was thinking today was Saturday, so she informed me that no, it was still Thursday, so still had Friday to go. So sometimes my days, especially during duck season, my days and weeks get a little confused, but I'm coming to you from the router table right here. Right here. Boom. I told you it would become a workbench for me. It is a nice router table, and I kind of forgot how much it cost. All right. Hope you enjoy these little updates. I've done one pretty much every day this week. No, not pretty much. I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Probably not going to do one tomorrow, but I just wanted to take a moment, update on the green wing teal heads. Basically, they're all done. If you're following along, I just put up the eye drilling video this morning, and also did a little catch up on which I'm going to jump ahead here. I never stay organized, but this bad boy right here. Put a little update video on him, and he is now hollow. So we're going to talk about that in a second. But again, if you're new to the channel, I'm Jeff Coates. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you could, give me a thumbs up, a thumbs down if you don't like my style of carving. And if you have not, please subscribe. I think it's right here. Please subscribe right here. All right, enough of that. Come with me. I'm going to grab the camera, and I want to show you what's been going on and actually talk a little bit, show you a little bit more on the technique, style of carving, how I hollow out my high density tan cork birds, as well as I'll talk about a little bit of my gluing system that I use. And should I tell you why I hollow my birds out? Do it for two reasons. Number one, I don't know that I have a piece of wiley cork here. I should. I know I do. Wait a second. The puffin, but I think one second. I think all the puffin are gone. Here's a piece. I do have a piece. This is cork history right here. This is a piece, still has a super smell. This is a piece of wiley. A little dusty, huh? Wiley cork, high density tan cork from, well, the cork itself comes from Portugal. A little bit of that dust got me. The cork does come from Portugal. Cork is tree bark. So the cork tree is in the oak family, and I know I have a piece upstairs. I've got a nice cross section. I'll dig that out sometime. A nice cross section of a piece of the cork oak that still has the bark on it, you can see. But basically they have, in Portugal, they have, what would you call them? You would call them, I've been working on not saying I don't think I've said it yet. You would call them cork tree orchards. How about? So it's just lines of cork tree where they go and they take and strip the cork off. Wiley Cork Company in Wilmington, Delaware was the only company in North America that actually imported cork. And I like to say, if you remember the old, maybe I'm going to date myself by saying Play-Doh, but the old Play-Doh extruder where you put the Play-Doh in, you put your shape on the front of it, the extruder, and you push down through and the Play-Doh got squeezed out. That's much like how Wiley formed their cork. And they ground up the raw material, the tree bark, and put it through this extruder. And originally it came out in 2-inch pieces, just like this. You got duck blocks. Oh, wait a second. Oh, I can't get it out. Let's take a look. You can barely. There. You can kind of see the cork. I had to save this box. It came in duck blocks. Yeah. Anyway, but trust me, it is a old Wiley cork. There, you can see Wiley, barely right there. But yes, Wiley cork came in duck blocks that were 2 inches thick. Dusty again. 2 inches thick, and I can't remember the dimensions, but it was a nice size dimension, gave you a nice duck, and then it was goose blocks. And it came Basically just like this. Is obviously cut down, but I don't know if you can really see it good on the camera. It had almost through the extruder process, almost had like a coating on it, if you will. It would have that on each side. And you can see, I don't know if you can really make that out, but as dense as this is, this stuff is much lighter than this. And this is imported Portugal high density tan cork. So it's the same tree bark, it's just the process of how it's put together. Big difference. Where am I going with the wiley cork? Wiley cork, yes, I remember. When you went up there, it was almost like it was a lumber yard. They would actually have cork laying outside. They did a lot of cork for expansion joints and bridges, roads, more bridges than anything else, but very, very waterproof. So wiley cork did not absorb water. When they went out of business, I still had my old 1996 Pitboss F350 crew cab. I would say, and I got the new one in 2005, I would say about the year 2000, the late 90s or 2000, wiley cork went out of business. Whenever the Euro came in vogue, that was part of what I'm told was part of what put wiley cork out of business. But long story short, I'll give Tom Matus credit on this. He did tell me, Jeff, if you hollow the thing out, think about it. If this does get wet, there's less cork to absorb water. So I thought that was a great idea. Excuse me. And number two, I don't have my brand handy, but you couldn't brand the cork, but you can brand wood, obviously, right? So that's kind of two of the reasons why, well, really the only reasons why I do hollow my tan high density cork out. So number one, so try to help it not absorb water if it does get wet. I need to turn the fan on, get this dust out of here. And number two, we can put the Pitboss brand on the bottom. So let's do a quick update. I have done, as I was doing my heads yesterday or the day before, this pattern I just wasn't really sold on. I wasn't 100% sure if I liked it, and I had an old body sitting from last year. It was together screwed, was not hollowed out yet, and I put that on there. So I don't know if that's a good angle for you to see, but it does meet my approval. I do like it, so that's going to be a cool, nice little change head pattern, and I do like kind of how that looks sitting in there, like a nice little tucked low head bird. I said, all right, so I'll carve the bird up, get it halfway good, get the head more or less ready to be fitted. I don't have one that is loose right now because everything is glued and screwed. But then I will take and unscrew it, open it up, get on the drill press right behind me, and just go to town trying, there probably the light's better that way, trying to hollow that thing out. I do leave a good amount of cork around the head. On this little guy is not so important, I don't think. But when you get into birds like this, it does make a big difference. So I try to leave a fair amount of cork up around the head. And as you can see, maybe you can't see, but there's 3 screws, 3.5 or 4 inch screws I go with, and use some big washers. So I've got, let me put this guy here. Here is another, I did this one yesterday. You can see a little bit of the glue action. And again, he's been hollowed out. I put 4 screws in that one. I don't know why. I just felt if I can get 4 in there, I'll do it. But that guy's hollowed out, good and ready to go. And then if you've watched the most recent video I just put up this morning, the Goldeneye, he's glued, screwed. You can see a little bit of glue coming out the back. And again, same kind of deal. Probably, I was just looking at this, probably in there. I do want to make these as light as I can. So I'll probably go in there and clean one more time, just clean up around the washers. But I want to leave that cork up in there for strength too. So I'm going to flip this camera around. I said, oh my God. I'm going to flip this camera around and tell you about these birds. All right, already told you about this guy. I am very happy with its shape. Yeah, shape and form, shall we say. Again, these are some bodies well, he was with, excuse me, he was with that bunch of birds there. These bodies were sitting from last year, and again, these, I have, probably since the last video, I have thinned these up. So I'm getting a step further. Fred West Decoys has my has my planer. So I need to make a run up there this afternoon anyway. I'm going to pick that thing up so I can thin my boards up a little bit. But again, that's only about 2 3/4 inch screw, I think. Again, with the biggest washer I can find. So that's that guy. Happy with him. And then the golden eye. Really like the head on that. I'm happy with the way the body came out. Again, hollowed out as thin as I can. Still want it to be strong. There we go. And once it's glued up, then I'm going to come back and I'm going to thin that tail up. So there's that guy. And then these scoters, these bodies were cut out last year. There's 2 there. I thought there was a 3rd one. But anyway, those guys are still sitting from last year. These are old heads. These are old heads. The pattern is old. But again, same kind of thing. Hollow them out the best I can, make them lightweight. And once it's glued, I'll work on thinning that tail up. And here's the last guy. He's so old, drying out and cracking the back a little bit there. But that's them. Let me talk about glue. It doesn't matter if I'm doing heads or the bodies. I just kind of do a combo between, doesn't have to be Gorilla Glue, but expanding polyurethane glue. Elmer's used to have I used to use Elmer's, a couple bucks cheaper. I don't really see Elmer's expandable glue. Excuse me, Elmer's expanding polyurethane glue and Tight Bond 3. Doesn't matter. Heads, bodies, whatever, the tails, whatever I'm gluing. Well, tails I just use this, but everything else I use a combo of these 2 things. And oh, it's a boat. Wasn't sure what that noise was. I kind of think I get the best of both worlds of the glue, the expanding polyurethane glue as well as the Tight Bond 3. So I don't know if somebody told me to do that. Truly, I cannot remember that. Maybe it's something that came up on my own. I've been doing it forever that way, though. So I almost kind of think it was something I experimented with. Because I used to just use this on the heads and this on the bodies, and then I started doing both. So check it out right here. All right, that's all I got. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you could, once again, give me a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing, if you don't like what I'm doing, give me a thumbs down. I hope at least it's a tad bit entertaining. And it is content, to say the least. So everybody have a great weekend. Thank you very much. And as always, you know it, thinking of you we are. Boom.